Yesterday was a fantastic day for flying for me because I went up twice. First of all, I went up in the Jodel with Didier and we did some messing around at 2,000 feet in a beautiful clear blue sky over the Bassin D'Arcachon. And then in the early evening, I met up with Stéphane, who was going to carry out my check ride so I could fly the Cessna 172. That's one of the club's aircraft. The Cessna 172 is particularly popular with people for pleasure flights, and since that's what I'm looking to do a bit more of, I thought it was important to get checked out on the most popular aircraft. Well, as some of you may know, I used to have a Cessna 150, and that's how I made it down here in France. But I've not flown a Cessna over high wing aircraft for at least 20 years. So it was quite a novel experience to get back into one. Compared to the Jodel and the Robins, the Cessna 172S is actually quite a bus. It seems a lot heavier. It's got 180 horsepower. The controls are much heavier. It's quite a physical aircraft, whether you're clambering up on the struts to fill up the wing tanks or actually pulling on the yoke. That was quite fun to have a yoke back in the hands after getting used to sticks over the past few years. Anyway, as always, of course, when flying any kind of aircraft, I was relying totally on the checklist and, of course, Stéphane's experience. He's an instructor. So did the run-up checklist. Obviously, start-up and things like that were a bit different compared to other aircraft I've flown recently, and you have to get used to that. But then once we were actually on our takeoff roll and rotated about 55 knots, you could tell the aircraft was nicely powered and wanted to fly very quickly. So we contacted CASO Approach and got clearance to climb up to 2,000 feet and then decided to do a few stall exercises. And so good look visually outside. Of course, with the high wing, you've got to be careful that once you dip your wing in a turn, you're not going to miss somebody flying nearby because your vision is obscured by the wing. Anyway, got to 2,000 feet and discovered just how docile this aircraft is in the stall. Really didn't have any surprises, didn't drop a wing as some Cessnas can do. Gentle buffeting and then just centralize the controls and apply power, and we lost about 100 feet, I think. Anyway, then we carried on flying over the bay. I did a few steepish turns, and it's a really stable aircraft. I can understand why passengers enjoy flying in this aircraft. Did a few manoeuvres and then headed back for the important bit, which of course was the landing, or should I say landings. I ended up doing 7 landings in different configurations, and we were doing low-level circuits to tighten up our circuits and get down quicker. few of my landings were a little bit heavy, but Stéphane told me that was the American way to land. Anyway, American aircraft, so we'll do American landings. It was fast approaching 8 p.m. and the sun was getting quite low in the sky. As you can see in these images, we had the sun right in our eyes every time we faced west. So we were getting low on fuel, and by the time we did the 7th landing, it was a full stop landing and just the right time. And I seem to have done okay because Stéphane signed my logbook and I'm now okay to take up people for pleasure flights and fly the aircraft on my own. So there we go, that was my check ride on the 172S. See you next time.
Ah oui, 150, c'est 200 km.